I kind of joke with my team sometime about how finance is sort of the backwaters sometimes of technology evolution, because always almost all the evolution initially comes or technology adoption happens on the sales and marketing on the client facing side, because clearly that's the engine that kind of drives a lot of the, it's always at the forefront. So I expect in the next 5 years, technology that has been making significant inroads into finance is just going to continue to expand, right? The expectations of the finance team or on the finance team is also going to increase. And what that's going to lead to is the need for incremental efficiency, because G&A teams are already large sometimes. I know there's a lot of focus on the cost, and so there's going to be a tremendous more focus on reducing those costs. And the one way to reduce those costs is to be incredibly more efficient. And so this interoperability of technology, people who are adept at using technology, is going to be the trend in the future. However, having said that, it's still going to require human assistance. So I think about it as human assisted AI that is going to be incredibly important, or AI that assists humans in doing their job better. I think that's where the world's going towards in the next 5 years. I would say reconciliations, from everything from billings to collections to invoices to payments. I think reconciliations is one of the hardest things that any finance team does. And the reason for that is there's always, what you contracted, how you billed, what you collected, it matching them dollar for dollar, which is essentially what the finance teams are typically responsible for, is hard to do. And to make that task easy and systematic and frankly automated is very hard. And if somebody can pull that off, they will be a finance team's best friends forever. 2 areas, right? So the AR and AP is one big area. And obviously the downstream impact of that is cash flow projections, right? Cash flows are how a company should get value, right? Cash flows are the lifeblood of any organization. And being able to accurately predict and project what your cash flows are going to be, staying on top of it, reconciling it, is critical. What are the KPIs? How am I measuring the efficiency of our business? Am I operating as well as I should be? I think that's where the biggest investments ought to be, in my mind, and where the biggest value will get generated over the next few years, and where the biggest impact of technology adoption, and particularly automation and AI, will drive value. Short answer is no. There is zero intent or ability, for that matter. But even if we had the intent, there is zero ability for it to operate without humans engaging with it. I think the key is, how can I make that person's life easier, like efficient, automated, more value-added work where they can focus their energies on growing the business, on strategy, on implementing what might be more innovative ideas and solutions that are going to drive value for the business or for the consumer. A robot isn't going to be able to do our jobs. And the reason for that is because the world is far too complex for automation and AI to completely solve everything. It's one thing playing a game of chess or Go, and it's another to have the real world, with all its messiness, being dealt with, particularly as it comes to finance, where you can't afford to be 90% right and still be okay. You need to be 100% right for all intents and purposes. What becomes really important is that your time is spent on important, efficient things is incredibly, incredibly important. That while we are adopting these technologies and we want to make things more efficient and automated, we can't lose sight of security. And when it comes to finance, any finance team and any finance product needs to have the best-in-class technology. One of my first questions is going to be, what's your security protocol? How are you managing that? What kind of what's your stack look like, and how do you actually, as a vendor or a software provider, manage security? It's absolutely crucial, and any finance person will tell you, like, that data is worth its weight in gold, and they would guard it with their life, and they mean it. The security is incredibly important, and as a martech company, we take security extremely important because it's important to all of our clients.